GEVO Incorporated is a company that I think you all pretty much expected me to make a video about soon. It has taken the market by storm. It has been absolutely making shockwaves. People are super excited about it. People are really starting to realize the potential that this company has. Me, myself included, I had no idea about this company until recently. I did want to give a quick shout out to my friend CJ from Trading with CJ. He actually brought this company to my attention and he really made it clear about why this company is so amazing. So if you haven't gone check his channel out, definitely go do that. But with that being said, I will be doing a full analysis and stock overview of this company. I know a few of you did request it in my last couple videos, and you know my drill. If you request it, I will bring it to you. And so with that being said, that is the plan for today. Now, if you do want access to a community of over 70 different, traders and investors who always interact with each other, talking about different penny stocks, I put my own, trades, and I update people about my portfolio. My team of investors puts out weekly checklists. We have all of the content that I will be posting the day before posted into the Discord, so you can have early access to all the information. It is really an insane community. It's really growing super duper fast. So if you are interested, you can head to the description down below. There will be a link to my Patreon, and that is where you can access all of this information. But with that being said, let's go ahead and let's take a dive into this company. I believe that it is absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot wait to bring it to you guys. So first up, what does GEVO do? Well, GEVO has a mission to transform renewable energy into low carbon transportation fuels. This next generation of renewable premium gasoline, jet fuel, and diesel fuel with the potential to achieve zero carbon emissions, addressing the market need of reducing greenhouse gas emissions with sustainable alternatives. GEVO uses low carbon renewable resource-based carbohydrates as raw materials and is in an advanced state of developing renewable electricity and renewable natural gas for use in production processes, which results in low carbon fuels with substantially reduced carbon intensity. Now, GEVO's products perform as well or better than traditional fossil-based fuels and infrastructure fuels. GEVO's technology also enables certain plastics, such as polyester, to be made with more sustainable ingredients. Now, that is absolutely huge. Now, GEVO's ability to penetrate the growing low-carbon fuels market depends on the price of oil and the value of abating carbon emissions that would otherwise increase greenhouse gas emissions. GEVO believes that it is proven patented technology enabling the use of a variety of low-carbon sustainable feedstocks to produce price-competitive low-carbon products such as gasoline components, jet fuel, and diesel fuel yields the potential to generate project and corporate returns that justify the build-out of a multi-billion-dollar business. So that is a lot of information, but overall, this company is simply just making an alternative for our current gasolines and different fuels and diesel fuels and everything like that. They're making this one much more sustainable. They have other products that we're going to discuss later that can be beneficial to farmers. It is crazy. This company has so much potential. What they're doing, their technology is patented, it's proven, it has been shown that it works, and I think that with the overall market and what we are seeing in society at the moment, that this could be the perfect opportunity for this company to capitalize and grow substantially over the next years to come. So they do offer a load of different products, from renewable gasoline, renewable diesel, isooctane, isobutanol, sustainable aviation fuel, which is very interesting, isobutylene, ethanol, animal feed, and proteins. So what we are going to focus on are three at the moment. We're going to take a look at renewable gas, we're going to look at sustainable aviation fuel, and then we're also going to take a look at animal feed and protein, as these three are typically their biggest ones at the moment. So whenever it comes to renewable gasoline, by blending isooctane with renewable naphtha and alcohol such as isobutanol or ethanol, this yields a low carbon gasoline replacement that provides excellent performance, meets gasoline standards set by vehicle manufacturers and government regulators. Now, this is super important because it's something that we do see, some companies run into the issue of, especially if they are trying to make gas alternatives, because they can provide us with a gas alternative that they say could do all of these things. They say that it could be, even better than gas and be more sustainable and be more cost effective. But if they do not get it, to the point that it meets the standards that these vehicle manufacturers and the government regulates, it won't mean anything. Because think about it, if BMW says that there is a certain standard that your gas has to be able to put in a BMW and not damage it, and a company releases an alternative fuel that does not meet those standards, no BMW user is going to knowingly put this into their car and destroy their car. So the fact that they have gotten that, approved and it has been meeting the standards for these manufacturers and government regulators is very important. Now, it says that renewable gasoline could be an enormous market for GEVO and other biofuel manufacturers as the drumbeat of low carbon fuel and gasoline blend stock become more pronounced. And I absolutely agree. I think that this is one of those opportunities that they could definitely, chase, simply for the fact that the world is changing. People are chasing that, that low carbon fuel, that zero carbon emissions. All of these different clean acts are going to be in effect very, very soon. And I think with the change of presidency, which is something we'll discuss later, that this is going to be very, very important in the next 4 years at least. Now, next up, we are going to take a look at sustainable aviation fuel. So this is low carbon, bio-based sustainable aviation fuel. To reduce the environmental impact of aviation, biofuel for jets is a key aspect for the future because it offers an immediate impact on the carbon footprint. Their renewable low-carbon jet fuels can be used in today's aircraft. Their alcohol-to-jet synthetic paraffinic kerosene, well, what a friggin' tongue twister there, is sustainable aviation fuel that is one of the few non-fossil-based alternative jet fuels available for commercial use. Now, I did want to present to you guys some, a theory and a way to think about this as well that was presented by CJ from Trading with CJ. And basically, he said with the current methods and the current forms of transportation that we are seeing with aviation, it is simply not possible to have electric airplanes that carry low hundreds of passengers. The batteries that are needed to get those things from point A to point B are simply not in effect. We are not seeing them being used yet. I wouldn't be surprised if they're in production, but we're not seeing it be a capability. So with that being said, what is the way in which we can counter the carbon footprint and all of the different emissions and the overall immense use of gasoline being used by the aviation industry? Well, that is going to be where alternative jet fuels come in. This could play a substantial role in lowering that footprint and having, again, like they said, having an immediate impact on the carbon footprint being provided by aviation. So I'm very excited to see how they do follow up with this, how they are going to plan on going into the future to come to maybe some deals with some airlines and really start to see this thing become of use. Now, lastly, there is a part of this entire company that just stands out to me just because it's so different than what they were doing before, but it makes so much sense and it's just another aspect of this business that makes you think that their potential is absolutely outstanding. Well, whenever it comes to their animal feed and protein, it says that their animal feed is a co-product that makes our biofuel better. Anyone who knows anything about nutrition in the world and the dangers of malnutrition pays attention to protein. Facts. Inexpensive animal feed and protein products enable lower cost sources of food, and it's critical to reduce the carbon footprint of food production as well, since it's a huge industry with its own set of carbon sources and greenhouse gas emissions. Because you have to think, with all of these processes that we undergo to be able to get all of this different livestock and to be able to provide food to the world, there is loads of carbon emissions that are put out there that we will go over later that make the overall industry provide a very substantial amount of their own carbon footprint. Well, it says that when GEVO or GEVO processes non-edible field corn, they capture large quantities of protein. They don't just discard it, which most companies do, because it has value. Instead, they use the protein that results from our production processes to make high-protein animal feed. Their plant in Luverne produces more animal feed on tonnage basis than it does alcohols. For every gallon of GEVO fuel produced, they expect to generate up to 10 pounds of animal feed and protein. The value from this co-product helps their product line cost structure, lower greenhouse gas emissions, and improved human nutrition matters to us and the world. Now, so not only is this company focused on lowering carbon emissions, they're also helping to provide protein and feed to animals, to people. It's just insane. The company is like, it makes so much sense, and the fact that I've not seen this with any other company is what gets me so giddy and excited, because I'm like, whoa, there's such an opportunity there. And the fact that they can enable all of these different things, it's something like, the domino effect. Like, this one thing enables them to do another. This product allows a co-product and a co-product of a co-product. And this company just has so much potential. And the science is proven. It's patented. Their technology works. And I cannot wait to see how this is going into the future. Now, just for a comparison, just, for us to think about going into the future here, how much gasoline and how many different consumers could this possibly affect? Well, in 2019, about 142 billion gallons of finished motor gasoline were consumed in the U.S., and an average of 390 million gasolines were going through per day. I'm talking per day, 390 million gallons per day. absolutely insane, and I know that number is growing substantially year after year. So whenever you think of their overall industry, this is an industry that there's a lot of potential. This is not an industry that I think we will see die anytime soon. Yes, of course, the electric vehicle wave is in effect, but at the end of the day, many things are still going to be running on gas for many decades to come, as realistically, a lot of these different industries will take a long time to fully adapt to the electric wave. Now, the company may provide solutions to a question that many people have had, because we can see here that more than 60 countries are aiming to reduce carbon emissions to net zero by 2050. But the issue with that is none of them are the biggest producers of carbon emissions. Now, as we can see here, that those 60 companies who did commit themselves to it make up less than 10% of the overall carbon emissions in the world. Now, it says here that how net zero goals will be accomplished is unclear. Some countries may bet on technological advances to capture carbon, which would allow them to continue drilling for oil and gas. Others could seek to offset their emissions by buying credits for green projects like tree planting programs. Or you can think about a company like this one, whose overall technology and the processes allow for a net zero carbon emission process. And I think that with the services that they could provide, they can offer somewhat of a solution to the issue at hand. Now, will they overall knock all of this world's carbon emissions out and fully reach every person in the world? No. But I think that this company's technology has the potential to genuinely make a difference, especially if they are capable of educating the public. Now, with that being said, and talking about educating the public, it says right here that biofuel is a fuel for everyone. Sure, the airline is where the decision is made to buy sustainable aviation fuel, or the city transportation department decides to fuel the bus you ride with every day with renewable biodiesel. But ultimately, that plane will never leave the ground, and the bus will never stop running its route without the passengers. That's all of us. Informed consumers can drive policy and make choices with their wallets. So basically, what they are trying to do is not only provide this to the world, but educate them on why it is important. And if they are capable of educating the public, which is a very difficult task, but if they're capable of doing this and making people realize why this is important, I think that we can see this company really start to take off. Now, not only will we be seeing them, educate the public, but we also have to remember we are now going into a presidency and a party who very strongly supports these type of companies. It says here from Democrats.org that Democrats are committed to curbing the effects of climate change, protecting America's natural resources, and ensuring the quality of our air, water, and land for current and future generations. From investing in clean energy to protecting our ecosystem, Democrats are working to address our biggest environmental challenges, paving the way to a more sustainable America. So, like we just said, not only is this company going to be trying to educate the public on why this is important and then showing them the capabilities of their technology, but we will also be under the reign of a party which will put out different policies and mandates and all of these different things that will overall not only just educate the public, but change how we go about everyday society, as they will go into effect within the next couple years. Think about the fact that in California is banning the sale of gas-powered cars by 2035. That's very, very soon, and that is going to change overall society. So again, this company mixed with the government itself working together could be very, very large and very, very, have loads of potential in creating incoming revenue and creating an insane and a massive consumer base for this company. So with all of these amazing products, with the industry they're in growing, with their management team clearly making amazing steps, with the timing being absolutely perfect with the presidential party for this company specifically, what are the financials like? Well, I did want to highlight a few milestones that they did reach in 2020, as they will show that they had an amazing year, even in a year that the world was struggling substantially. So I will just paraphrase a few of these because I don't want to have to keep you here for the next 30 minutes. As you all know, I cannot read the best. But in August 2020, GEVO entered into a renewable hydrocarbons purchase and sales agreement with Trafigura Trading LLC. Now, this was going to be an agreement for about 10 years, and they have the options to extend the initial term. With this agreement, GEVO now has approximately 48 MGPY of offtake agreements in place, collectively representing about 1.5 billion of revenue across the life of the contracts. Insane. That's a load of revenue, especially for a company this size. In August of 2020, they entered into a master framework agreement to collaborate on providing renewable jet fuel and premium gasoline in India and neighboring countries. In August 2020 as well, they completed a registered direct offering. In July of 2020, $2 million in aggregate principal amount of GEVO's 12% convertible senior secured notes. They were converted into 4 million shares of common stock. In July, they completed another public offering. Due to its strong balance sheet and available cash, they expected that by the end of last year, they were going to be able to pay off their entire outstanding balance of 12 million. It goes on and on and on and on. I don't think you understand. This company is awesome. Now, it was reported in the third quarter of 2020, which is the last report that we did have, that they ended the quarter with cash equivalents of $80 million compared to $6 million at the end of Q2 2020. The revenue totaled about $200,000 for the quarter compared to $6 million in Q3 2019, which was expected with the year that they had, but the fact that they were sitting on so much cash, that's still a very positive thing in my opinion. Now, their hydrocarbon revenue actually decreased to $100,000 for the quarter compared to $600,000 in Q3, and then they did see some loss of operations of about $6 million for the quarter compared to $8 million in Q3 2019. So, overall, it does seem like with the year that was given to them, they used it as beneficially as they possibly can. Of course, they didn't perform perfectly, and that there were some issues, especially whenever you look at their hydrocarbon revenue decreasing. But overall, their loss from operations decreased year over year. Their revenue totaled, of course, it did go down a little bit for the quarter. But whenever you look at the cash and cash equivalents, whenever you look at how much they have been growing out, getting all of these different deals done, I must say that this company is absolutely phenomenal. I cannot express enough how much I really have fallen in love with this company over the time that I have been researching it. So with that being said, let's go ahead, let's take a look at the stock price. I'm going to look at the stock price and then I'm going to give you all what I'm doing with this company. But I think it's pretty clear at this point what I will be doing with this stock. So in the last trading day, we did see them go down about 5.88% and then recover that up to about 6.25%, leading to a gain of about roughly about 0.4% to 1% over the day. So a very bland Friday, to say the least. Now, over the last 5 days, they have seen a substantial amount of growth, going up over 50%, being up almost 75% at one point in the course of about 3 or 4 days. Now, in the last month, we have seen them reach some pretty amazing milestones, having grown over 100%, and we're starting to see a repeating pattern here whenever it comes to their overall trends, which we will talk about in a second. Now, over the last 6 months, this company has been absolutely taking off. Man, look how beautiful this trend is. Now, I will say that this was a very large gap, but realistically, considering that they didn't even have much news and they weren't circulating the penny stock market all that much, I'm pretty excited to see the fact that they were able to maintain these levels, even not necessarily growing too much, but being able to maintain and not go under is absolutely a great thing, honestly. Now, we have seen them start to pick up momentum and grow substantially over the last couple months, growing up to 400% since November. Now, what will I be doing with this stock? Well, I think it's pretty clear I'm getting in. I want in. I really believe that their technology is absolutely amazing. I think the timing is perfect for this presidency. I think the increase in overall energy stocks and seeing them all start to do well is something that will come very soon. And I think this company alone will benefit a lot from all of the catalysts and a lot of the positives in which we spoke about earlier in the video. So that being said, even if tomorrow morning, whenever the market opens, even if this thing goes up 30-40%, I'm in. If it drops 30-40%, I'm in, because this is one of those companies that I believe has a potential to perform very well over the long run. This is not going to be a quick flip of mine. If you do want overall information about this stock, if you do want, information about my trade, how many shares I get, my cost basis, and everything like that, definitely head to the link below to my Patreon, as all of that information will be posted there. With that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. I know it was a little bit longer, but I had to get through all of the good things about this company because I really do believe that they have just insane amounts of potential that I hope me personally, as an investor, will be able to capitalize in the future. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. I'm simply a guy on YouTube just talking about stocks that I like. With that being said, I am going to be posting 2 to 3 times every single day, and I will hope to see you all soon. Peace.